On the plus side, running multiple intrigues won't be the hardest thing in the world with this system. It'll be this is something I was kind of curious how it would work anyway, because in theory, architect play does this that sort of thing, having multiple things, as opposed to all of you focus on the same intrigue at the same time. Which, you know, that's still good. And you have all the action economy against one or two opponents, perhaps. Well, there we go. Hello everyone, I'm AD Springer, also known as Cool Gideon. This is the Electropolis video game tour, and today we are playing 2D20 DUNE, Silvanus, Agrestis, and Salutaris, using the 2D20 DUNE system by Modifius. And I have done something very dumb to myself and allowed these fools to do multiple intrigues, so we're going to catch up on all that. So don't worry, it will all make sense, especially to the players. No. In the third month of Falsgraf and Erica III's reign, House Beleza's ambitions began to echo far and wide, surpassing those of her predecessors. From their small moon, renowned for space industry and the arts, verdant transformed jewel, 3 emissaries embarked on significant missions. Ritter of Salutaris, Moonshadow, Marshal of House Beleza, journeyed to planet Ikaz to negotiate with the fragmented remnants of House Alaka. Mintak Karim Kabada, Treasurer to House Beleza, and Reverend Mother Silvanus Johanna Murshid traveled to planet Kaitan to engage with the Landsrad of the Imperium. Meanwhile, Falsgraf and Erica III remained in the Silvanus system, striving to perhaps maintain peace and avert a devastating war. Right, so we have 3 rough outlines here for now, because there's a lot of things you could do and a lot of places you can go in your respective star systems. So this line here is all related to the planet Kaitan. This is Salutaris, Silvanus, and the other one.
Agrestis?
Agrestis, thank you. I named the damn show, you think I'd know. And of course, the planet Ikaz, where, of course, House Ikaz is, but House Laka is nestled away. The general feel, I will say, for each of these areas is that Planet Kaitan is, even at its less busy, at its most mundane, is chock full of nobles, agents, spies, of all sorts from across the Imperium. This is the capital of mankind. This has been the capital of mankind for over 10,000 years. The seat of the Lion friggin' Throne. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's some level of security that would be involved, but it's not the soldiers with the weapons you need to worry about. It's everyone in the nice dresses and pretty suits you need to worry about. Of course, Erica, I've noted some military presence in your area, but obviously it's divided between the 4 houses, so it's no more militant than it ever has been. The most militant it was what, last month, during the purge of the cult. And of course, Moonshadow is on a planet that is still in the midst of the, and some say the latter half of the War of Assassins between Ikaz and Moritani. Since the House of Beleza is a vassal of a vassal house, the Moonshadow is kind of allowed to house in one of the various, after a thorough check that she is who she says she is. She's at least housed in a military. Actually, no, you're noble. You're ennobled as a knight, so as a ritter. So you are housed with another noble along with some guards, as you are. There are no grand plans they immediately order you to do, because you probably announced that you are on house's business, not necessarily Kaz's business. So, you don't get to go to the nice big palace, because frankly, they have 1,000,001 other things going on right now, and whatever your minor house problem is, they do not care. Unless you make them care. So you very quickly get shuffled into a small manor house with sharing it with another noble and a lot of guards. So, I leave it to you all which path you wish to take a shot at first. Maybe we can move around as needed, but it's, And this is all happening simultaneously because all of you are near respective plots at the same time.
Before this falls between the cracks, at some point aboard the Highliner, Joanna was supposed to have a meeting with someone from, like an agent from the Spacing Guild after her conversation with their infiltrator 2 or 3 episodes ago.
We can definitely.
My meeting with Duke Malvolus fell between the cracks, so I didn't want to let this one go too. Too much going on.
Actually, no. So, on your Highliner journey to Kaitan, you are invited into a dining suite. That's usually meant for minor celebrations and banquets during the flight, because sometimes Highliner flights can have multiple stops, so people have some time to kind of relax and celebrate. Some people do that just for a pleasure cruise. That is the most expensive pleasure cruise you could ever take in the Imperium, but hey, some people like to show off they're rich. In this room, there's just the room lacks all the finery and pomp and circumstance of what it is. It's a lot of big tables and chairs and lots of empty frames where paintings would likely be shoved in.
So, not a House Beleza, it's a Highliner.
I think you did order a House Beleza one, didn't you? You wanted one.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get one, sure.
And actually this one, I mean, for all its emptiness and lack of all that pomp, the table is immaculate. Even the empty frames seem to complete a larger picture. And you get the feeling that this particular room is trying to emphasize the interconnectedness of mankind across the stars. You see like streaks and it's inlaid into the but nothing so ostentatious as to draw you away from what you're doing in the room. Mind you, with nothing in the room other than you and this other person, kind of hard not to see it.
Right.
It's the sort of thing you would only learn after like having a few drinks and meandering around, going, "Holy crap! There's something else in here. The room's an artwork. I didn't realize that till now." But yeah, you're met with a hooded figure, mask over his face, and as you were directed to come to this room. This person waits for you and just walks around one of the tables and stops a fair distance from you.
Joanna will incline her head slightly. Guildsman?
Reverend Mother? To what do I owe the pleasure?
I had assumed that Raban had filled you in.
I assume little when it comes to the witches or world.
Very perspicacious of you. it seems for the moment that House Silvanus, the Bene Gesserit, and the Guild have some common interests, at least as they have come to focus in the Silvanus system. Or House Salutaris, I should have said.
I'm sure you certainly. But why should my employers?
Well, if your employers weren't concerned, I would suspect they would not have sent an agent to infiltrate and attempt to assassinate what they thought at the time was the Falsgraf of House Salutaris. Unless the guild just makes a habit of randomly sending infiltrators into noble houses to assassinate members of the core family.
No more than the Bene Gesserit.
Well played. But still, your guild acted to prevent the plotted kidnapping of Duke Arcona. No, sorry, Duke Valorian. Many dukes. Unknowing that, as we had just discovered before discovering your infiltrator, that the Falsgraf was not the Falsgraf, but that the Bene Tiliaxu were playing us all for fools, or trying to anyway. And while they were working for Ilaka in order to accomplish the kidnapping, they were, as always, working for the Tiliaxu above all.
Stares at you. So what do you hope to gain from reaching out to those higher agents, Bene Gesserit?
Well, House Salutaris can seek redress against Ilaka or any other house that moves against us through the normal means, whether that's Centurion Lancerod, Imperial Edicts, or Canley. However, seeking redress against the Bene Tiliaxu and their masters is another equation entirely. And as is keeping the eye on their larger plots dealing with us, infiltration is notoriously and obviously difficult.
But pray tell, Reverend Silvan, what do you
Well, I don't know what I want. Look at my notes here. We know that the Bene Tiliaxu were deeply involved, if not behind, Project Amal to produce a synthetic spice, after which they could control interstellar travel. The key element to this was the sap produced on Silvanus. Now, the Bene Gesserit and House Valorian managed to put an end to that project. But should the Bene Tiliaxu manage to create a spice, an effective synthetic spice, then the Spacing Guild's control over intergalactic travel could very well and very easily be threatened. For our own reasons, the Bene Gesserit do not wish Project Amal to be resurrected in any way, shape, or form, and therefore our interests align. Spacing Guild's control of travel, the Bene Gesserit's desire to maintain the spice trade and flow, and of course that of House Salutaris to return with interest the favor of the crime that the Bene Tiliaxu have perpetrated against us. At this nexus point, I believe our interests align, Guildsman.
Perhaps they do. Perhaps you lie.
It is always something to be concerned.
Especially with you.
I believe you mean especially with my sisterhood.
Not your sisterhood, as I am the guild.
If you've done your research, you know that I myself, as a representative of my sisterhood, place more value in truth than anything else. And I would assume that you have done some research before meeting with me.
Truth is as sure a sword any blade a war master would. Any
Truth is a three-edged sword. Your side, my side, and the truth. We meet on that third edge.
So you would have the guild levy its vast fortunes in the Silvanus system? I do hear the moon Salutaris is a beautiful moon. I imagine an acquisition home and buying out of House Bleza and folding it into our ambitions. But I imagine that's not what you're asking me. Much as it would profit us to have much cheaper ships to build.
Perhaps, but far less beautiful. And were the guild unmoved by beauty, Bene Beleza would have no business. And yet, for 10,000 years, business has been booming.
The guild cares not for beauty, it cares for stars, but its passengers seem to. People who have less vision, the grandness of space.
No. What I seek is an alliance to drive the Bene Tiliaxu away from the Silvanus system and make sure that their hands are burned for their attempts to interfere with the interests of the guild, the sisterhood, and House Salutaris. Three interests collide in this.
I can alert the guild on these details and advise them but I wonder, for all the work the guild will have to do, for all its monies and agents arrayed, what are you going to do, Gesserit? We require consideration.
Of course. I can offer detailed genetic and biophysical scans and records of a face dancer.
A recent one?
As of yesterday.
That is interesting. Is useful.
I believe that might assist in various operations of the guild.
What stops us from turning to the Bene Talaxu?
Hopefully your own wisdom and self-interest. Carry a scorpion across the river, and midway it will sting. A scorpion is a scorpion, after all.
Bene Gesserit is a Bene Gesserit, yet we give you a ride all the same.
You speak truth, but at least the Bene Gesserit's poisons are more subtle and dedicated entirely to the preservation of humanity. The Bene Teliaxu, they already make things in the shape of men. How much more of a step is it to truly violate the compact and the Orange Catholic Bible?
And what of your House Beleza? Will they fall into line?
What line do you want us to fall into?
We can tell House Beleza up to for countless generations, Falsgrafen to Falsgraf, one and all seen great work that is the travel of. Yet, some strange baffles the mind, as one unlightened by spice, that they're going into farming. It almost would seem, perhaps, they wish to divest themselves of a domain, invest into a new one. Somehow, he looks around. Don't think House Beleza is letting go of its material desire.
House Beleza, as any noble house, wishes to expand, and the current Falsgrafen is perhaps best placed to lead this expansion. And an additional domain is rather a traditional way for a house to expand, but Beleza has no interest in divesting ourselves of our orbital and spacecraft building and highliner building industries. They are at the core of what we do and always have been. As for investing in farming, perhaps it is no more sinister than the normal political moves of a house. How better to increase a house's position and power within the system it resides in than investing in yet another element of that system?
I'm going to ask you for communicate difficulty 2.
Communicate.
There's more to that story you're not telling him. And probably wisely not telling him.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I really am trying to pass this off as, no, we're just doing what houses do, man. You know, one day we'll be stewards. You know, if the emperor goes every 3 generations, so we'll have a better stake. Duty. We are not born to serve ourselves alone.
Yep.
And I. Okay. And difficulty difficulty 2. Yeah, go ahead and have 3 for 4 dice. Focus in neurolinguistics.
Yep. There you go. Right 2. But a comp.
Take 2.
Yo.
That's why I upped my communicate with AP last time.
Well, so long as House Beleza does not think you can escape the contracts bounding it to the Spacing Guild, all is well.
Why would we? The contracts to the Spacing Guild has put us in the position we are now in to expand the house. It has been a lucrative alliance for both partners.
Although the great houses have their silly plans to think they can work without us, the minor houses are far more blundering and blind to their obligations, knowing they play. Your words will be carried, Reverend. And by end of month, we will have an agent meet with you again, discuss detail.
I look forward to it. And please, this time, instead of so clumsily trying to infiltrate my house, just have him knock.
Who says we didn't want you to see him?
Yes, tell yourself whatever lets you sleep at night, Guildsman.
Strides off through a door. Leaves.
I think I'll have some tea after that.
So, arriving on the planet Kaitan, Kareem Kabata.
Yellow.
Has your character ever been to the capital before?
I imagine this is where the Mentat Academy is.
It is not.
It is not.
No, they have their own planet.
Oh. Is it perchance called Mentatis or something along the lines? I'm just kidding. Then no.
If only that would make sense.
No, I imagine I haven't been.
Yes, I would say that you are under the trait, or suffering, or enjoying the trait, I suppose, of overawed. You are in a place incredibly... Oh wait, I take that back. I'm gonna walk that back. I'm sorry. You went to... I was gonna say you were gonna be overawed by the beauty and grandeur that is the various palaces and wealth of Kaitan, except you went to the Mentat Academy. You've seen things as ancient as all of mankind before, and technological wonders that no one would believe existed.
A computer, for instance.
Well, I mean, it is a crude instrument that mankind surpasses, with a bit of help. But yeah, no, there are lots of people milling around. You notice that Johanna is a little delayed, as she's she didn't come down on the same ship you did, like the same shuttle you did. She was on the same Highliner, but she got wrapped up in some meeting. So you kind of get there a little bit ahead of her.
Okay. This is me in character asking Winchester out of character. I'm gonna take a look at my PDA or datapad. Has the Falsgrafen left any specific instructions for me for Kaitan?
To the correct.
No, you're free to act, because the reason you ended up here was because
I chatted shit.
you annoyed the Falsgrafen too much, and she's like, I don't want you around here. Just go.
Oh no.
A minor exile.
Yeah, this is a temporary exile, so just do whatever you want. I mean, you if you want to help with Johanna's mission, you'd know what it was, which was to rattle the saber towards Alaka, but eventually settle on a peaceful option, and um, allow House Malvolus to get any justification they want to attack the tribes, but make sure no one's going to support them.
And enjoy exile while you can.
You don't have to do any of those things. You can enjoy exile. It's just if you want to help, those are the things.
Wow, that's not nice. Yeah, you don't have to play the game. Damn. Okay. Sure. For the time being, do we have quarters assigned here on Kaitan?
Not as yet. You've only just landed.
Oh,
You're
I should
at
like
the
to-
you're at like a major spaceport that's flooded with people and servants and nobles, and there's various servants, various
I should
agents.
like
I should say.
I should like to approach an official, any sort of official, and introduce myself, who I serve, who I am, and humbly request quarters.
Give me communicate difficulty 2. It's you look around and everyone here looks official except for the servants. You know not to talk to the guy carrying bags. You're pretty sure he's at least a knight, but you know.
Duty?
Yeah.
Take one moment. Focus in charm or persuasion?
Either way would work, yeah.
That guy got screwed. He thought being a knight of the bag was going to be like an awesome job.
I mean,
Got a
it is. He
comp.
does work on Kaitan, so.
I got a comp, but I really don't want to give you two, so I'll take the L on this one, whatever it is.
So. To inflict a complication upon you, sir. You will suffer the complication of for future communicate rolls of outsider. You are not of Kaitan, or not a noble, and it is hard not to notice that in everything that happens around. You're assured of yourself, but you very much feel like you're supposed to be serving other people at some point, and then remembering, oh wait, you're supposed to be here. You're on orders, more or less. That just increases your comp for all communication rolls.
On Kaitan. Damn, that's gonna be nasty. Okay. But quarters, perhaps.
Mentat Cream Kabata, come with me, come with me. Let's see.
I must inform you that there is also a Reverend Mother aboard the Highliner, but she is slightly delayed.
Which one?
Silvanus Johanna Murshid.
Oh yes, from that backwater, sure.
I'll smile politely.
So, alright, well, suppose you'll be able to afford, he looks at you, and he nods, some mildly, not disgusted. I imagine you could afford townhouse in the outskirts for your stay? Or do you wish to, dream of more?
Where do you normally house emissaries from other planets?
Depends on the emissary, man, as I'm sure you must know.
I see. I think myself and the Reverend Mother then are quite content with the outskirts.
As it should be. I'll arrange for a car to collect your luggage. I imagine you only need the one car for
I think to myself, do we have lots of luggage?
How much luggage does Kareem hold? With your level of wealth, you do have like nice clothes. Like it's nicer than anything I would ever wear in my life. I couldn't afford anything Kareem wears in real life, but you have like you might have a suitcase, maybe two if you have like special clothes. But unless you're a person who likes packing heavy, but someone who has much higher wealth in their lifestyle, you'd have like multiple bags and servants that you have to attend to, footman
I'm thinking
you'd have
more
to
of
pay.
Johanna. Has Johanna brought like 3 gajillion suitcases?
I don't think so. I just don't see Reverend Mothers traveling that heavy. I mean, even with all of their veils and hats, I mean, that's it. It might be like 12 hat boxes, um, but, I just don't see Reverend Mothers traveling that heavy.
Depends how much they want to show off their title and where they're from.
Right. So, I mean, I think Joanna has her fancy gear, with whatever elaborate headdresses and veils and whatever she needs. And she would likely have a different outfit for every day that she would be here. Because you wouldn't want to repeat yourself.
Especially
Titan.
What do you
Right.
mean? I've got Black Robe 1, Black Robe 2, and slightly browner, more brown
Yes.
Robe 3.
Yes.
Don't forget the slate one. It's not black,
So, yeah,
it's
I mean,
slate.
I could see Joanna having, a couple of good-sized trunks.
One car should be sufficient.
So, minor houses don't keep like orders or whatever on Titan for Landsrad shenanigans.
Your house doesn't have a trait related to that work. You guys as an industrious and beauty focused house. You aren't diplomats normally. You go to Khitan when you need to or when your house requires it. But you would if there isn't a permanent installation, it's at the Chom headquarters office. Like there's probably a director's office that's being maintained for Erica and her staff because of industry. And there's probably like a wing of some university somewhere named after the Belezas.
The whole art department.
Yeah, this is the Beleza art department. This is how you do spacecraft design. Like, really? Oh, and you do your practicum on Salutaris, which everyone else would hate, but a spaceship designer? Holy crap, I get to work on Salutaris? That's awesome.
I'll tell to the lady, yes, one car should be sufficient. One question for you, if I may.
Go on. Sir Mentat?
I am searching for the local order of Mentats, local chapter, if you will, and perhaps a large library.
The Order of Mentats have their chapter houses across the planet. I am sure that you know these things far more than I.
I was merely wondering as to the closest one. I just got off the highliner.
I noticed. The nearest one would be near the Universitat of the High Sky. School of your intriguing and, I am sure, beneficial to humanity's arts.
Of course. And the library?
There are many, many, many libraries. There is the local district library. There is the library at the various universities across the city. And of course, the grandest library of them all within the palace. Though you will, well, I suppose you would. Common or not, you are still of the order. I suppose you could just go in. But again, that is something you are far more knowledgeable than I.
Thank you for your service. I shall wait for the Reverend Mother, and then we shall depart for the outskirts.
Very good. And he nods with the protocol minimum of respect. You get the feeling he doesn't like talking to you at all, but your Mentat title forces him. He can't ignore Mentat because you're of one of the most powerful orders of mankind.
Along with the Betty Jesuit.
Well, yeah, she's not here though.
All
Sure.
respect. If she was here, she could voice this guy.
Yeah. Eventually, Johanna, you are able to get down from your from the ship. You had to catch the next shuttle down, but yeah, you get down there fast enough and find a car waiting for you, and some of your bags and Kareem's being loaded into a ground car.
Joanna's in full rig.
Reverend Mother, just in time. I've done you the courtesy of securing us a little property on the outskirts of Kaitan.
The
It should be-
outskirts?
It should be sufficient for our needs here.
No, the outskirts will never do, Kareem.
I do not believe, Reverend Mother, with all due respect, that we can afford anything else. I'll say this in a hushed voice.
Joanna has a wealth asset.
I am very well aware of the canisters of spice that you have brought with you, but I believe you should save that for more opportune times. A house is the least of our worries. We'll be spending
GM,
most
and am I assuming that, appearance and presentation matters a lot on Kaitan, especially like landing meetings with people and whatnot?
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get a member of a great house to go see you in the townhouse outside the town, outside of the city. They'd invite you to theirs, and then the power dynamic goes to their favor night. So.
Right. So, without spending a wealth asset, what is the best we could afford?
You could afford a small, well-appointed suite in one of the grand hotels in the city. That's super expensive, but with your wealth level, that's like your lifestyle. That's pretty good. Like that you get your own butler for each of you in your own private like penthouse looking that no one else that only minor houses, because you're not a nascent house. You guys actually have money,
right?
But you wouldn't be able to afford a full manor house or an estate. Or that's something on Kaitan. That's
so
insane. If you wanted a full house to
Joanna...
yourself, you'd have to be in the outskirts.
Right. So, can Joanna figure out? I want to figure out the place that has that nice little meeting point of, oh, this is a very respected minor house, and their accommodations show it, but not so much to the point of, oh, these people are getting above their raisings.
I'll need understanding difficulty 3.
Truth?
Yeah, you're actually trying to find an actually nice place, but it's not known for being all that nice. Just nice enough.
I'm trying to find that place where, it puts us up in the position we need to be without making it look like we're, thinking we're more than, we are. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm renting the presidential suite at the Waldorf Hotel for how many days? 1 day. That's
Right. Yep.
So you're broke, are you? Yes, I'm broke.
Right. No, so I'm sure it'll be some sort of suite kind of thing.
Yeah.
You said
at least.
Div 3.
Yes.
So I'll give you 2 momentum and 1 threat for 4 dice. Let's see if my new focus work. Focus and deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
Ha! Understanding focus. At last, my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Gained 1. Yeah, you look through the various lists and minor adverts, and you overhear people talking. You think about it, and there's this one place, the Sapphire Spire, that people seem to be going. I mean, none of the great houses are going there, but their architects go there. Like, you overhear that, so it's like, okay, that makes you sound bigger than you are, but you're not being an upstart about it. It's just it's meant for servants of greater houses. Which, I mean, you are technically, so, but it's way nicer than the townhouse would be. One of the modern constructions. That's why it's not as fancy. It's a little too new for Kaitan. Kaitan's really big on either the newest as of yesterday or ancient. This one's kind of in that weird middle.
And I think that's going to be a good place to negotiate from and be seen in.
Oh yeah, you could totally see like a great house leader going to that hotel. They wouldn't stay there, but they'd go there.
Right. Okay. So yes, that's where we'll That's where we'll redirect the car and all the baggage and everything to.
Are you quite sure, Reverend Mother? It rhymes. Sapphire Spire?
Well, it is Khitan. That may be the center of the empire, but occasionally it is Gauche.
Hey.
Quite
I'm
right
from
you
a-
are.
I'm from an artistic house. You know, I could be a bitch about some aesthetics.
Art snobs.
Quite right you are,
Right.
Reverend Mother. Very well, Reverend Mother. I shall have the house's funds redirected to the bit of a sour look. Sapphire Spire. I cannot believe it rhymes.
Then,
Reverend Mother. Perhaps if there is something I can assist you with during these days.
I'd be very glad of your assistance. Let us, and she kind of glances around significantly. Let us get settled in our rooms, and then we can meet and discuss our plans.
Of course, Reverend Mother.
off you go into one of the grand cities of Khitan. Your ground car leading you to this massive spire of sapphire glittering amidst the city's lights. Then look, the moon Salutaris, while Scarf and Erica III dwells.
You took my momentum.
What evils are you up to, Falsgrafen?
I will send over the diplomatic niceties to inform House Malvolus that I wish to travel to Agrestis, both for an audience with the Duke and to enjoy the offerings of the moon.
Communicate roll difficulty 1. You're just doing the difficulty is lower just because you're a ruler. He wants to talk to you, but there's certain protocols one follows.
All right. Take a threat. Communicate. Probably power. It's easier for me to get this to get a quick answer back than it is practically anyone else.
True.
Like, they may tell me no, but they're not going to make me wait to tell me no unless we had really bad relations.
Unless you check, there's no can lead between you, so.
Not yet. Focus at diplomacy.
Yes.
All right. I am going to place the free trait upon. Can this be placed upon Malvolus, or is this placed on a functionary?
This is going to some to an envoy of his.
Okay. It's free, so I'll do it anyways. But eager to please.
Okay. So generate 3. Do you go through like the not old fashioned, but do you go through like scrolls and herald type requests, or do you just call over Communinet because you're in the same star system?
I follow the generally accepted protocol. Um, at times of that is followed in times of long peace, right? Um, so I'm not overly formal.
Yeah, you probably
And-
go to the Fortress Landing Communinet station and just call theirs because you're not expecting.
I have someone call them.
Yeah, exactly. You call their person who calls their person, sort of thing.
Well, and remember, we have kind of an advantage from the house management because this is a time of like kind of a lull in all this kind of politicking and bad vibe, but we got a good opportunity roll or something.
Oh yeah, definitely.
An opportunity.
That's you're not too worried about spycraft and espionage being a problem right now. You're just doing a somewhat casual but formal. Like it's casual in the sense that you're doing the equivalent of having your servants call each other, my people talking to your people over the phone to arrange a meeting. But you are nobles of houses, so they are, for the records of your legacies, written down by a scribe. So for official record keeping purposes, but it's not the full scroll and announcements and horns. Like no, it's a lot more casual than that. We're just, I come over. Are you okay with that? Well, I'm okay with that. Double teaming chips. I know who it is.
It's not me for once.
Shame. No. Or you're just getting back on your mic. Either way.
Of course, I usually just talk about salads with my wife.
No, I'm just gonna leave that alone. So yeah, you get called back, and well, rather your person gets called back, Erica, and you're told that House Malvolus is glad to receive the false Grafin Erica III of House Valeza at her leisure.
All right, me and my entourage are getting in my the ship.
You did the Escalade.
And away from the beauteous, terraformed world of Salutaris, all its greenery and brass and gold and silver, and even the military buildings are works of art, even in their minor brutality. And then, well,
as part of this, I want to actually, I could use a help from another player. One of y'all be willing to pay for and activate Nightshade?
I'll do it.
Colonel Octavia Nightshade, War Master of the House, and sympathizer to the cult of the Redeemer. The two of you arrive in the heavily fortified docks reserved for noble dignitaries who are coming to the moon. This moon is all enclosed, its surface dead and abandoned to its vacuum and whim, but it is dotted with various cathedrals and fortifications, all enclosed in grand domes, connected by breezeways and corridors of air to allow for travel. There is... And even as you land, you can see the various, unlike the grand shipyards that help build Highliners, this place is surrounded by artillery and anti-spacecraft guns and the various buildings and power stations that are attached therein.
All right. What I wanted to do as part of this movement is have is first go to the orbital station and then from there down to the surface, because I want to mask the movement of the condemned to the orbital station.
Give me a battle roll, difficulty of 2.
Um, Duty. These are the most loyal troops that I have, so it's easier to get them to do what I want
Certainly.
and to do it correctly.
That's the second bit's a lot more important, but yes.
Yeah. 3 momentum. Focus in strategy. Because this is part of a plan. That plan being that I'm about to go stir the hornet's nest and I want a way out.
Fair enough. Okay, there you go. 1, 2, 4. You drop off the condemned in the defunct orbital that probably once was some sort of training academy of some kind hundreds of years ago. It barely works. It looks terrible. But
I mean,
hey,
has it been somewhat refurbished? Because it is an asset of a character now.
yeah, it exists.
Okay.
You can go there, but no one's bothered to upgrade it at all. I mean, what's its quality? 0, 1?
I don't know. I didn't mean has it been made into something grandiose. Just it's not. It's not. Is it in danger of falling out of orbit?
No. It would give the House Malvolus that they do know how to make things last. And the Cult of the Redeemer did refurbish it a little bit. It's very damaged from the battle.
Okay.
Like you can still see the slash marks and the scorch marks in different parts of the entire facility. Broken windows and windows inside, not outside. And those parts are locked off with big signs to let you know don't go in there.
Okay. Yeah, then we'll go down from there to this port on the dead moon.
You see a military unit of guards standing in full parade uniform. Oh, actually, a random name, but I know who would meet you here. Well, the architects would actually meet you. Nah, that'd be a... At the head of his marshal service is General Cale Draven. Erica, you actually have crossed this man's path before. He actually served as as the military police for one of the facilities that you're at during for a while. But he was that was the difference. You are a fighting person. He was a military police person. So it's more about keeping everyone in line and making sure no one was breaking the rules that the Archduchess of Akaz had commanded. He walks
You know
up.
who soldiers hate sometimes more than the enemy in the trenches opposite? Military police.
The general steps forth and comes to a very strict attention, and he gives you a sharp salute too.
I'll acknowledge him.
Like a little, you don't salute back to him, you just give him a nod
No.
or something.
Yes.
He lets his hand go back to his side, and he comes to a parade rest of sorts. Well, Scruffin, I could not be more excited to see you here. Are you here to learn more about artillery?
I am here to meet and treat with the Duke, and perhaps we may view some of your war material, but artillery I'm not particularly interested in. I don't have a habit of fighting cities.
Oh, but that's the target-rich environment's fault, Scraffin. Oh, and forgive me for asking, but who is this new officer of yours? I do not recognize them.
I want to try to get a read. Does he look like he's lying about that?
Give me
I suspect he's lying.
understanding. Difficulty of 1. He does like you, so he's trying not to be evasive.
All right, and because right now I'm using Nightshade as an asset, do I get? Can I use them here?
Oh wait, she was bought, wasn't she? So I forgot. She
No, no one said yes or paid for her.
Dream did.
Oh, I thought he.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry, I did not understand that. Because the reason I asked for that originally is because she has both a battleship and the orbital as assets, so I didn't know if that was going to come up. But yeah, if she's being used as an asset, I mean, if she's being played as a character, then I might ask for an assist because she's more likely to belie, to give a look that's that she knows him.
How much does she cost again? I forgot to take my thing.
5.
Remember, giving him threat is how he gives us sweet, sweet AP.
In Dune, threat's good, more or less.
What was the role, GM?
Understand.
Can I assist with understand duty?
Certainly could.
And I will. I think this kind of only makes sense as truth. I'll give you 3. Not give you 3 threats. Sorry, I will spend 3 momentum. I'll give you threat for that.
Or that. Boop. Boop. The general does recognize her. But it seems like he's confirming that is who he thinks it is.
Oh, he doesn't look like he's actually met her before.
For momentum, I can clarify.
Yeah, sure.
He's not sure why she's wearing a Beleza uniform and why she isn't being hung from her toes.
Okay, but he has
He's met her before. In
Okay.
person, in fact. That's why there's a moment where Octavia there's probably a moment for Nightshade where it's like, she's met Draven before. He's part of the reason our people were driven off the moon.
And Eric will say, given your skill, I would have thought you would have met before.
He gives a minor glance to Colonel Octavia.
Colonel Octavia will nod at him.
It's back. Very well, Falsgrafen. I presume she is to come with you on your tour?
Yes, if anyone is to counsel me on the efficacy and utility your weapons could provide, it would be our War Master.
Falsgrafen. I am currently on orders to expel any of the cult of the Redeemer Inquisition. So, no insult to you, but I must ask, is she still of the cult?
Oh, General, Colonel Octavia looks offended. Do you see me wearing the colors of the cult?
He nods at that, like, that's fair.
General, the cult no longer exists. It is not possible for someone to belong to it.
Were I marching in here with the cult's war banner, I am sure we would be having a much different conversation, General.
Gives you a look.
God damn.
But he smirks. And then he looks back at Erica. Very good, Falsgrafen. I believe my orders are satisfied. Do you wish to retire to your apartments in the Ironwood Garrison, or do you have anywhere in particular you wish me to escort you to? Or did you wish to speak with the Duke directly? I and my marshal service are at your disposal, Kurt.
We'll retire to the accommodations within the garrison until the Duke is prepared for an audience.
Very good, Falsgrafen. On your order? And he turns and he barks like a drill sergeant, and the whole marshal service surrounds the two of you and your entourage in a very sharp square. They all draw their swords and pistols, and he then moves to he almost moves to the front of the formation, and then realizes he needs to be able to talk to you, so he kind of falls into the square with you.
And then Inslee, I might suggest activating Galia, because I think there's a lot of chance here to go spying, but it'll be better if it's not done as an asset.
Okay. I can do that.
5, I believe.
Yeah. So just any kind of military intelligence in general would be useful. Got a good understand and a good move, got stealth as a focus. And she's been here before
There she is.
without the Duke being aware of it.
Yeah, the heir is currently on Arconis, isn't it? Because he went to school here.
This is
The
Agrestis.
heir of what house?
Of Agrestis, yeah. You're of Beleza. Remember, we sent him
No,
over
he's
to...
with you.
No, right. That's right. But he
Which
was in
worries
school
me
here
that
for a little
you
bit.
forgot.
You know, one kid or another. You know, you're still young.
Not anytime soon.
Wisdom and daring.
So is the Lady Galia like slipping out of the shuttle that you came down on and then trying to sneak away, or was she with your entourage and she's trying to sneak away?
I mean, I think I've got a better chance of getting military. Well, maybe not. So yeah, I will have like slipped away from the shuttle, not joining the main entourage.
General didn't snap you. He wouldn't have. He would have treated it.
Right.
So you're gonna try to sneak around somewhere, slip away. Sounds like you owe me a move. Posed.
I remind you of 2 determination.
Yeah, that's handy. Okay, so let's do.
You have +1 to your roll because the populace hate these guys.
Oh, they've not been spending their populace upkeep.
Why should they? We have guns, they don't. We win.
There is a logic to their thought.
Right.
It's not foolproof, but I see where they're at.
Okay, since I'm trying to get hard information on stuff, I'm going to say move truth.
You're trying to make sure you're not just wandering to some random bars. Like, no, I'm trying to get somewhere useful.
Right.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was also thinking like someplace to find out about the port because they're going to have to move troops and stuff. So, but yeah.
Yeah, true enough. Yeah.
Truth. This is move. Stealth for a focus.
Yeah.
Okay. Take. I'll spend 4 momentum and 2 threat for a full mitt to slip away. There's 1 comp. Let's see how they roll before I do anything.
Like that. 2 hits to your roll, so you generate 3.
Okay. And I'll give you 2 threat to wipe out that comp.
Yeah, you're able to kind of. You notice that the guard is very lax currently because of the opportunity. They're not worried about spycraft happening right now.
Oh yeah.
Especially from you guys. You guys haven't shown any hostility to them, so they have no reason to think you guys are up to anything beyond the normal stuff. But you guys announced your presence, so. And they're more worried about the false Griffin than her consort, and not that they know that you're here in the first place, but you know.
Ah, cool.
And as you're being escorted to the Ironwood garrison, is there anything Colonel Octavia does as you're being marched under guard?
This is all very fishy to Octavia. This open questioning about, who the hell is being brung here and whatever. Just what kind of a guard are we under? Are these guys like professionally trained to screw us up at any given moment, or is this more of like, here's an honor guard, because you're our honored guests? And what I'm trying to say is, are these guys like itching to get the drop on us?
I'll give you understand or battle difficulty 2.
What's better for her? Let's see. Octavia. Battle truth?
Certainly.
Focus and tactics?
Yeah.
Generate 1.
They're here. They are an honor guard, and they are letting any assassin who witnesses you guys or spy that they're kind of giving an obvious warning of, hey, if you approach these people for any unauthorized reason, you're going to die. We're not going to ask. We're not going to warn you. We're just going to kill you.
Right, but how are they looking at us? Are they looking to get the drop on us at any given moment? Do they seem itchy?
They seem itchy, but not to you.
Right, okay. That's about it then.
Yeah, these guys are the military police letting the populace know to stay the hell back from the rich people.
Right. But looking outwards now, perhaps if these successes can tell me anything, or if I can ask a question for momentum, do we face any outward threat? You know, I'll obviously look into the false graph's security, among other things, but how are we looking on that front?
You do see that there are a few eyes on your group, but the honor guard's keeping them from getting anywhere close to you.
Right, okay, that's a bit awkward.
Serious hooded figures in shadow. Executives in their suits watching. Things like that. It's
As long as it's executives, that's fine. If they're not CEOs.
Second. Yep. And yeah, we journey further still to the planet Ikaz. The richer Milmoon Shadow is in the estate and has finally been left alone by the various guards and spy masters and marshals to ensure that no, you are who you say you are. No, really, you're supposed to be here. Yes, really, you're a Ritter. Yes, that happened recently. You know. There, and eventually they leave you alone to do what you want on this planet.
Yeah. Whew. All right. So I guess my first thing that I'm going to do is try to get the lay of the land a little bit. And use my ability to find trouble to track down somebody that I could potentially bribe for information.
Does that cost you anything to create?
My ability to find trouble does not. Bribing somebody probably would. Yes.
So yeah, you give a think about what you know of Planet Ikaz, and you're aware of a certain criminal underworld that persists in some of the more seedy taverns and underground clubs that dot the grand world of Ikaz.
Okay, I will try to track down Or rather, now that I've found a contact.
Well, you know of a place that you can find somebody. You're still in the house. You still have to leave. But I don't know if you
Yeah.
want to be obvious about it or you want to be quiet about it.
I'll try to be subtle about it.
All right. Give me a move difficulty of 3. Because there is a noble here with his own guards. They might notice you leaving in the cover of night.
Okay, I'm gonna use duty as a drive. And I will spend...
Oh, I forgot to shave off a memento because we're in a new space. Let me see.
I'll spend all the momentum and 1 threat for 2 extra dice. Because I don't have a focus on the skill. Oof. I guess I'm using my determination.
The value, you will do what you must in service of house and people. I suppose,
Yes.
yeah.
Because I'm trying to track down the false graph.
Oh, she's on the
And I
moon
shall-
Agrestis.
No, that's the false graph in.
Got you there.
It's true.
There we go.
Much to the local lord's curiosity, wanting to meet the exotic tribal marshal, yeah, you slip away before he invites you to.
I'm more comfortable with the seedy underbelly than I am in a fancy dinner anyway. But yeah, if he had invited me to dinner, I wouldn't have skipped out on him. But if I can reasonably say, I'm sorry, I did not receive your invitation. Can we reschedule?
He just missed you. The guards look for you, and then it's like, where'd you go? Oh, she must be in a different part of the house. The house isn't that big. Where'd she go? How did we lose her so fast?
Shut up, man. I'm not telling the sergeant we lost her. She is in a different part of the house.
We just have to keep looking. So yeah, you do see a variety of cutthroats, and hey, by the way, Ritter Mill Moonshadow, how do you enter into this seedy club tucked away between some buildings? Are you in your full uniform and
No, I'd be in just some street clothes, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, you do see some dark-suited men in far corners enjoying their drink and the music. Some ladies who have a variety of intentions with the personage here. And there are a lot of dangerous-looking folk who get an unfamiliar face. But they don't attack you on sight. You don't look like a marshal.
And even if I did, I wouldn't look like their marshals.
Yeah.
Right. I will try to track down somebody that I can chat with about the false graph.
There are at least 3 major persons in this room that you quickly know through your ability to find trouble. There is the head of the cutthroats and foot pads and such that would wanted someone to be roughed up or something blown up or burned down. That's the kind of guy you'd want to talk to. There is the Lady of Shadow, if you will, polite, who has her hands and influence in a variety of salons and households, whether they like it or not. And There is the well-appointed businessman who normally wouldn't be caught dead in a place like this, but if there's money to be made, legally or not, members of the CHOAM will find a way to get it.
Gotcha. I guess I shall start by speaking with the question is, do I want to speak with the I guess we'll start by speaking with the Lady of Shadow. See if she's heard any rumors.
Hello, my dear. Her new face.
And Corby goes cringe.
So ouch.
Also, ouch.
How
Hello?
exactly can I assist you, Ms.?
I'm looking for someone.
Are you? Aren't we all? And who are you looking for? An employer, perhaps, or?
Someone dear to a friend of mine who perhaps went missing some years ago.
Years ago.
Yes.
And who exactly is looking?
That I would prefer to keep to myself for the time being.
Huh. You're keeping your secret all to yourself. Well, that's not nice. Why should I share any secrets if you're not going to share?
I would need to know that you have secrets I'm interested in learning before I would make such a trade.
Communicate roll. Difficulty of 2 currently, just to get her to actually help you. She doesn't know
That's
who you
fair.
are. You could be
This
you could
might
be a marshal in disguise for all she knows. Which she's right, but she's not. But you know.
Yeah.
I mean, unlikely, but it's always a possibility.
Does my focus in either interrogation or persuasion apply?
Persuasion, yeah.
Cool. That is fortunate. I'll use duty. Oh shoot, I forgot. I need to roll a d20. Nope, I don't keep my determination. Okay. You can have one threat,
I can. Well, that's nice of you.
because I'm spending it for a die.
Oh, never.
There we go.
Great one. There you go.
Good thing I spent.
All right. All right. Who is it you're looking for then? Maybe I know who they are.
I will give a description of the false graph and say he would likely be held against his will, if he yet lives.
Give me communication difficulty of 4, complication increased by 2. Because you are trying to describe someone to her, you're trying not to say who he is, but you're trying to give a thorough description, so she kind of gets what you're driving at without you saying it, and then on top of that, you're hoping that she knows who the hell this is, and it has been a while. She might not know about it, or in the added complications, she might clue in that you're an agent for somebody.
That's fair.
For now, you're just some rando who's asking. You could be an agent for anybody, or working on your own behalf. She doesn't know. Not yet, anyway.
Interrogation or persuasion as focuses?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I can't. I half sold myself on interrogation, but you're trying to get her to remember something. Without saying so. So I'd be looking for, like, anyway.
That's fair. And what difficulty was it that you said?
4.
Oof. Okay. I'm gonna buy up to a full minute. So that's the only way I have any hope on this one.
Momentum threat.
Yes. Focus.
Save you.
Oh.
You're short.
Damn.
If only you had assistance, but oh well.
You can always have the fluke doctor with you.
No, we fired him.
You haven't paid him.
He's gone, Joe.
He'd be too worried about the physical health of all these down and outers anyway.
I had skill training. I'm gonna use an extra d20 on that test.
Well, no, that just means you would have spent less. You wouldn't have bought that last. Because you only roll up to 5 dice anyway.
Yeah. Oh.
I lose 3 threats. You wouldn't have bought that last.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So I have only 1 use of that remaining before it goes poof. Damn.
I'm sorry, I'm not. He seems awfully familiar. But. I mean, so many men that look like. You happen to know his name? Or whatever title he goes by?
I'm gonna examine her for a moment, trying to use physical empathy to get an impression of, let's say, whether she's allied with my house's enemies based on both her body language, like whether she's seeming edgy, as if she recognizes me, that sort of thing. But also based on the surroundings that I find myself in, if there's any, subtle nods to opposing factions.
Understand opposed. She wouldn't be quick. She'd be very careful to not reveal whose side she's on.
That's fair. Physical empathy apply?
Yes.
Excellent.
I am gonna buy a full net.
So,
Write that down. That's an AP.
Yep.
That's true.
Got it.
Thanks. I will also buy up to a full net. Dang it.
Really? She wouldn't use that now. It's not. I mean, yeah, no, 2.
Nice. I got 5.
Yeah, gain 3, and she rolled a complication. You notice as you look her over, for one thing, she looks to be noble. Like she's dressing like someone, a commoner above their station, but she is a noble. Like there's a certain way you've seen nobles. They move, the way they talk, the way they treat people. This is a noble who has a lifestyle that's dropped the commoner, and then she uses her personal wealth to bring her not the rest of her around her, but herself up. So she's at a nicer lifestyle position. So she looks better than everyone here. And you notice that at one of the various she's not bedecked in jewelry, but like little bits of wealth here or there to show off that she is better off. You notice that on her left hand is a particular flower that is only grown in the fields of... Got the names. No, it's not Alaka, because no. Here. Well, there's probably an Alaka agent in here somewhere. You're kind of in trouble. Wouldn't be a Kaz, and they might. It's Archduke. What's Archduke? Anyway. She is of House Bak, B-A-K. It's one of the prominent minor houses of House of Kaz. Like, it's a particular type of flower that's used in their drinks, and you kind of remember that from like a case long ago. So she's obviously a noble of House Bak, which is a banner house of House of Kaz. Your ultimate, your current, the second to last liege of yours, save the Emperor. He's ostensibly on your side. He's on the same side of the War of Assassins as you are, put it that way.
Okay. I will... Let's say... I will nod towards her ring and say, I suspect we have a mutual enemy.
She watches you carefully. Before we see what she responds to, we look to the Sapphire Spire.
Oh god, it rhymes.
The apartment is it's not just a suite, it's a whole apartment where you had this panoramic view of the palatial capital. And everything seems to be very themed around various shades of blue, as if you're like underwater.
Matches my hair.
Yeah. And each of you have your own self-appointed butler, who will be around. If you call for a drink, put it this way: you never get your own drink unless you want to. Sort of thing. You have people for that. You have a person for that.
Right, Reverend Mother, now that we are here, may I suggest we discuss a plan of action?
Of course. So I want to create an asset of an Ixian dampener, as one does. Is there some, like, study or room that we could shut ourselves in?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're burning away 2 momentum.
Yeah.
You really should make that a permanent asset. You keep doing this.
I know. What is... I can do that at the end with AP if I need to, or if I generate some momentum here, I can make it sticky.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what to call that. So once the Ixion dampener is up, I will let him know what our objectives are. I put him in the.
Yes, but specifically what you want me to do. How can I help you?
Assassinate the Emperor of Mankind.
You got it.
That's
Take
the thing you get a
lion
treasurer
frickin'
Mentat to
throne.
do.
Mentat Kareem Kabata is on the case. No, but on a more serious note, how do you think I can help you out with this?
Right. So, you can find out who House Alaka is in debt to. And you can maybe get some figures together about a financial case to be made that, backing Malvolus or supporting Malvolus is just a money pit. It'd just be throwing good money after bad.
Right, okay. I also had an idea, I don't know how, well, it's a bit radical, I don't know how much you'd care for it, but I was going to try and appeal, since we are going around waving our sword, over to Chom to try and petition for Chom to forbid House Akaz from purchasing spice.
House Alaka.
Oh, sorry, House Alaka. From purchasing spice. We can do it to Akaz too, just to,
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can think of. That was just kind of my top thoughts because fundamentally, we're trying to get if we can figure out who Alaka owes money to, then they will probably back us in a censure move, and potentially could make it look like that they might back us in other ways because we're jiggling our swords, but we're aiming towards a diplomatic solution there, and then so that's kind of figuring out how to swing some favor in that way to us, and then Malvolus is just going to be a money pit, is trying to isolate them. So, but I figure with your skill set particularly, going after that's good. But yeah, the Chom thing sounds good because if Chom has decided they're not going to deal with them, then that puts them in an even worse position.
a trade embargo would seriously hurt them, and we didn't even lift a finger.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Alright, it seems I have some work to do then. We shall reconvene later and report results?
It sounds good.
Very well then. You go on ahead first if you want.
So, I think Joanna is going to try and get a meeting with the representatives, if they're here, of House Frioli.
Okay.
The Fallscroft's house.
Give me. Do you want to have one of their envoys meet you at your apartment, or do you want to meet at their townhouse here?
Let's see, because I'm bearing some bad news in theory. So probably best to go to them on this one.
Give me communicate difficulty 1. They are married into Beliza, so
Right.
they're a lot more They're a lot more amiable to guys than normal.
Galia. So communicate. Duty.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want the butler to assist you, by the way?
He can assist?
Certainly can. Paid
Sure,
to be of
he-
service.
Yeah, he knows all the stuff. So yeah, he can assist me. I guess I'll roll it flat. Neurolinguistics.
Not yet, no.
Okay. And again, I'm not letting the butler know anything about why I'm meeting with them, just that I'm meeting with them.
Yeah.
Here's one. I hit it anyway.
hey, the stationery looks nice.
Very good.
So yeah, there is a. You will have an appointment with one of their the envoy of their house that happens to be here.
Okay.
Because the family wouldn't be here all the time. They're too minor. Go off to their townhouse. What is Kareem Kabata up to?
Johanna's first line of investigation seems to maybe lead me in the right way. I need to go look into house. Help me out here. Elaka's financial records. Who they've been dealing with, do they owe anyone money, and I need to find something dirty on them that I can present to Chom. And if I don't find anything dirty on them, I'd like to fabricate something dirty on them.
Very good. I will call this an opposed roll. I'm gonna say understand for you. I'm buying a full mint because I want you to know what I'm up to.
Write that down, that's an AP.
Oh, as a reminder, there's an AP because Moonshadow whiffed that roll earlier. That was a high diff roll.
Got it.
Alright, understand truth?
True, yep. Especially with your
with a focus in data analysis?
Yes, definitely.
Omit? Yeah, take that.
I have to. Oh, that's garbage. That's trash. What is this? Oh wait, it's a Laka. No. I mean, yeah. Wait, no. What am I doing? I know what my numbers are. I'm trying to pull them
We
out.
never
There we
know.
go. Good. I'm glad. Still not. That's such a trash roll. 2 hits.
Against my 2, 4, 6, 8.
Get your 6 momentum. And I have 2 comps. Just figure this out for a second. They really biff this. This hurts. This hurts my soul.
Go ahead, I'll wait, and then afterwards I'd like to create a thingy.
Alright. So. Yeah, you learn that one of the Chom representatives for House Alaka, technically all nobles of house of any noble house is a Chom representative, but this is like their dedicated accountant person. They tried to, well, not even their accountants, like one of their tradespeople that moves around, various stocks and commodity bonds and such. You see now off of Kaitan, you're not shocked people didn't see this, because unless you do a proper audit of somebody, it's kind of hard to read between the lines on something. However, you're on Kaitan and you're a mentat of a noble house, so getting access to records is not impossible for you. And they make an effort to hide what they're doing from House of Kaz. Didn't bother to hide it from headquarters on Kaitan. So the Carino records, the Chom records in and of themselves show that they have been trying to hide. They've been spending their wealth profusely on trying to fuel the War of Assassins against House of Kaz, and basically trying to attack any enemy of House Moritani. No matter how, mostly aiming, they try to aim at House Atreides, they try to aim at House of Kaz, But Ilaka found itself stomped pretty bad. That backfired completely on them. You notice that they used to have a really nice house on Ikaz. They don't anymore. So that's a write-off. So instead, they decided to pick on all the smaller people, all the minor houses and nascent houses, to try to undercut the bigger ones, such as House Aleza. And you can see the money trail the whole way. It is meticulously detailed because they're trying to make sure they're paying their taxes to the Chome and ensuring that House Carino gets a cut. Because, you know, why commit crimes if you're not going to, at least if you commit all the crimes you want, but you better pay your taxes.
Okay.
It's the American way.
I know a couple of news agencies that would love to see this and then get their payment rescinded immediately. Can I create an asset?
Sure, I'll even give it to you for free.
How much to up its quality?
Hey? I don't know why I leaned forward. That doesn't help.
I'd like to create an asset called Blackmail Papers.
Easily done. Quality 1.
And I'd like to up it to quality 3.
How?
Momentum?
That's not a thing? I don't think it is.
Is it?
I think you can up it to 1. I'm not sure though. As far as when you're creating it in play, for some reason I have it in my head that you can up it to 1, but not more.
This isn't. This wouldn't be like a permanent asset. This is just like. Yeah.
Still, it's an asset
Right.
that exists. Hold on, let me.
And I could be completely wrong. Maybe.
Character event. Way too far. Oh yeah, you can spend 2 points of momentum to increase it to a quality of 2.
We'll do that. Then I'd like to spend another 2 momentum to create another asset. I'd like to draft a. Should this ever go into court, or if I need to present it to someone to say, like, this is how I'm gonna skin you alive in court, I need a good legal plan of attack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, you know, if Chome says, you know, screw you, we're not gonna do this, I'm gonna be like, okay, here's how I'm going to attack you in court. See you there. You're getting subpoenaed. And I'd like to raise its quality to 1.
Hold on.
That's about all for me this round.
Going back to Johanna, you get a ground car out to the townhouse of House Farioli that is here on the capital. It's a nice enough townhouse. It's one that they've used a few times. They are a diplomatically focused house to a degree, so they have some permanent status here. So that's why they bother having an envoy sitting here on a regular. So it looks like less of a rent. It is a rental, but it's a long-term rent. But it's a place that's actually has some permanent furniture and artwork stuff.
I think
and a
that's
few gifts from House Paleza because the wedding happened recently, so they're trying to show that they're connected to Paleza.
right.
Reverend Mother Silvanus Johanna Mashid, I must confess I am surprised you wish to speak with us.
I am here not in my capacity as Reverend Mother, but as a member of the household of Beleza. And who am I speaking with?
The envoy, the Lady Val.
VAL?
Yep. There's a much longer name, but she doesn't go by that because unless her father's talking to her, sort of thing.
Right. Have you somewhere secure where we could speak in private? It is both a house and family matter.
She leads you to her office, or to the envoy's office, but she's the current envoy. It's a well decorated place. Various legal documents and books and various records of the lineages of houses major and minor.
Right. I'm afraid I must both be the bearer of bad news and the supplicant for your assistance in resolving the bad news. We have discovered recently that through the machinations of House Ilaka some years ago, the Pfalzgraf Sebastiano Frioli was replaced by a Teliaxu face dancer. My liege, the Pfalzgrafen, is doing everything she can to determine the whereabouts of the real Pfalzgraf, and we have undertaken some operations against Ilaka ourselves to try and gain this information. But my purpose here on Kaitan is to bring this information to the Landsraad, have Ilaka censored, and hopefully recover the Pfalzgraf. And House Frioli could be of tremendous assistance in preparing these charges and helping me to sway influence towards our ends.
Give me communicate roll. That I know.
I'm gonna say truth because I'm speaking truth.
We're gonna call this House Ilaka. Then I'll call this difficulty.
Okay. Okay, let's give you a bunch of threat. I'll give you 3, 4, 4. Neurolinguistics as a focus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Six.
This is a very serious thing you revealed to me, Reverend Mother. Oh, this was not what I thought we'd be doing for the next month. Seems that is what we're going. So, what is House Beleza's plans and all?
My liege's first thought, being as most of her life has been on the front lines of the Canley between Ekaz and Moritani, is of course a military solution. However, upon reflection and some time taken to calm her initial quite justified fury, she has decided that she would be willing to accept a diplomatic solution. Ideally, this would result in the return of the Pfalzgraf himself and some sort of censure or punishment and apology from House Ilaka. But above all, the Pfalzgraf wishes the safe return of her husband. But at the same time, I cannot return to my liege without having inflicted some sort of diplomatic punishment upon Alaka.
This wades us deep to the War of Assassins, far more than we already have.
Perhaps, but Frioli did marry into Beleza and married to the sharp tip of the War of Assassins spear by doing so.
I mean that as much for your house as mine. To censure... my understanding in the Landsrat, in that the accusations, there are some tepid defense for Alaka as misunderstanding, miscommunications. They aren't betraying House Akat. There's never been a true denouncement outside of House Atreides. House Beleza and House Frioli have done our duty and to the Imperium. Punish Mortani for crimes. But this will be a bearing of blades, Reverend. Mortani will see us. We'll see you. House any. I will support you in this. I am merely advising you. The matters of Silvanus, matters of the Imperium, very different scales of...
We are aware, and this is why we would be willing to accept a some form of apology rather than formal censure. But the apology would need to be public and accompanied with the return of the Fallsgraf. Alaka can frame it how they like. I believe that word could be sufficiently spread sub rosa that no matter how they frame it, they were caught in some shenanigans, as it were, thereby giving them a way to save political face, but gaining us what we want.
I have an idea, Reverend. It's not quite as punitive as I imagine your false Graffin would like, or as my lord would like. Quite honest with you. But it does achieve our goals. I might be able to arrange a meeting. The envoy of Alaka here on Can. In that meeting, I might happen to invite a Reverend Mother for spiritual advice. And I go to get tea or stretch my legs or some nonsense. You might have a word. Maybe this can all be a outpouring of virtue, the remnants of it.
I like this plan.
To speak at the Landsrat, and we don't have to show our blades quite so openly, but I think it gets the result you're looking for.
I believe so too, and considering that Alaka has recently had a new, is it a Duke GM or?
I believe it's Duke. A new ruler.
A new ruler. Then this again, a nice opening to clear
Duke.
up this terrible misunderstanding by the new ruler from the mistakes made by her predecessors.
I will arrange the meeting. And I would advise you have... well, dare. He would dare. Assault a Reverend Mother. But then again, this is Alaka, so be wary. Even here on Kaitan, they may decide to take their...
I understand.
If you like, you may stay here at the townhouse if you wish, but I imagine you have your own living arrangements. I can send word to when the meeting is ready for you.
Indeed, you may find me at the atrociously named Sapphire Spire.
Oh, that's that new art piece building. Capital.
Joanna snorts lightly. Yes, art piece. As you say.
She gives a look to your hair. She almost says something, and she thinks better of it. Very well, Reverend Mother.
Thank you for your time, Envoy Val. And I will head back. So there's one plot in order.
Art piece, more like fart piece.
Hey. It's starting to hurt a little. Kareem Kabata, what's your second move
Well,
once you've
see,
gotten
this is
your
the perfect
blackmail?
opportunity.
Mhm.
Kareem talks with the hotel manager to get some, make this place a real work of art by, doing some business with House Beleza, renowned throughout the Imperium for our artwork. Oh, don't tell me that that's not a brilliant idea when people come to stay here and they see the art of Beleza on Catan. Dude.
Get yourself gone. I need a meeting with Chom. I don't think any old Chom will do, but I need a meeting with Chom.
How high up are you trying to go?
How high would be appropriate?
That's a good question.
If I'm looking
I
to get
suppose
a minor, I'm looking to get a minor house banned from trading spice and placed under an embargo.
So I need this book, but the bonds. Because I imagine the most appropriate would be to go to not to Prince Erica's boss or in the line of rectors. Like you're going above her on her behalf.
Yeah.
Like you're talking to her boss to go, hey, by the way, we want to. And the higher you go, the more of a whoa. PDF looking.
Not the more of a whoa.
But I also need someone to blackmail.
Other PDF. Sorry, the PDF I was going to look up was illegible for a second. So here, hopefully. Just some weird display error where my PDF was just showing a bunch of garbage. Doesn't happen. That never happened before. But yes. So yeah, I guess I imagine you're trying to go for someone who's high enough to be worth your time to do something, but not so high that blackmailing them is career suicide.
Yes, I don't want to go to the whole CEO of Chom. I want to go to his underling, who may be able to pull enough strings to say, okay, we'll get him banned.
Give me communicate difficulty of, I'll say 3. You're usually very busy, so it's hard to convince them that talking to you is their time. But you're in Kaitan, so it's a lot easier than it otherwise would.
Communicate justice?
Yeah, actually.
1 threat, so I can activate my bolt. Focus and charm or persuasion?
I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Remember, my comp is higher for this one because of my complication. Oh no. Well, I get it. I'll give you 2 to quash that one. I've already suffered one. You're already on 32, so what's 2 more?
More AP for us, ultimately.
Ultimately.
And yes, you are able to secure a meeting with a high-level executive who, ostensibly, they are the chum executive here, representing the interests and authority of House of Kaz. They don't work for a Kaz, but they're that's the account they're responsible for. So that's the next step up. Above. Actually, it's even above. Actually, no, it'd be lower than that. I apologize. The Oh. No, they're not. It actually would be House, not Ikaz, but, Valorian. Because they're the ones who are...
Okay.
So the office is, it's actually kind of, they are in the, not in the main headquarter building, but they are in one of the, like, outbuildings on the same corporate campus, if you will. So they do have like their own little corner office and a desk, various executive toys and decorations and bribes lying about the room.
A name tag, mayhaps?
That's executive. What did I say? Executive Corrigan, Zara Corrigan.
Well, I assume they welcomed me in their office, right?
You walk in, their secretary opens the door for you and waves you in. The executive kind of stands from his seat and nods at you.
I'll offer my hand. Karim Kabada, Mentat of the Royal Order of Mentats, and Treasurer to the House of Beleza of Silvanus.
Greetings, Mentakabata. I am Ara Corrigan. I have been informed that you wish to speak with us about certain accounts.
Yes, may I sit?
Oh, of course, of course.
Thank you. The account that I have come to speak to you today is in particular one of House Elaka. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not in the particulars, but I could pull it up.
Right. Well, of course. Let me try and give you the rundown of it.
Please.
So, I'll pull out the papers. Would you mind taking a look at these papers and telling me what you see? First thing that comes to mind.
This is incredibly clumsy.
Isn't it?
They barely hit it at all. What is this? Is this a joke?
No, dear executive, I wish it was. This is something that a regular person can find out with a simple 15-minute search through their financial records. In fact, considering we're on Kaitan, I'm surprised it even went through. More to my point. My house is on the verge of a diplomatic falling out with House Akaz due to some circumstances which I'm sure you are far too busy to concern yourself with right now. However, I do have a request. Given the nature of these papers, and given how this could be presented in trade court, I wish for Chom to scratch my back a little so I can scratch theirs. You see, House Kaz likes as much as all houses do to trade in spice and other commodities.
Alaka. House Alaka.
House Alaka and the Kaz as well. We're fucking them over too, don't worry.
Ooh, are you?
House-
That's very important if you are.
Yeah,
No,
Akad
no,
is
do not do
is our
that.
patron.
No, I will not do that. House Alaka. My bad. My apologies. They're very similar.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but yeah. Don't want to get the GM confused and us screwed.
House Alaka enjoys trading in various commodities as well as spice on behalf of Chom. This is enough to have their entire house placed under a trade embargo, going from spice to various other commodities their nobles are very much used to. I would very much like it if this little favor, so to speak, were put through officially.
What are you looking for us to do, Matt? What do you want me to do?
Impose a trade embargo on House Alaka and forbid them from trading in spice.
We need the Landsrad to do that. The minute we try to put it through, it's the various directors are going to notice that we're trying to do it. I assume the director of Alaka is going to oppose, if nothing else.
Forbid is perhaps a strong word. How about restrict?
Restriction of spice trade. It's more doable. We do have the papers here. We might be able to make.
And, should it not, I am prepared to fight this in trade court. Officially, of course.
Well, you'll have to speak to the Landsrat if it gets, because I know if I were the director of Alaka, I would push this into. If I was gonna fight it openly, I'd fight it in a court outside of boardroom. They wouldn't trust it to commoners like us.
Oh, I understand that very much. But even the Landsrat can see that numbers do not lie.
I find with much annoyance that nobles tend to not care about numbers if it means that blood can be a certain way. I get your point. Alright. Well, I can prepare the motion to the board of directors. So you don't have to... Wait. Something just occurred to me. Mentat, forgive me, maybe there's some particular here that you're doing that eludes me. But why not go to the director of Silvanus, the steward of Silvanus himself? Why come to me here on Kaitan?
You are the account manager for the whole account, is it not true?
Representatives of their financial arrangements and various mercantile efforts, yes.
Therefore, you hold the reins quite more subtly than the steward of Silvanus does. The steward of Silvanus would, of course, perhaps be a bit apprehensive considering his personal interests regarding this subject. You, however, I'm sure, are free of all these personal issues.
So you're trying to keep this out of the Landsrat as possible. Keep it in the boardroom.
Keep it in the boardroom and have it enforced is perhaps the two most important things.
You ask a lot of me. You really do.
The papers are here, Executive.
Laid a bomb on my desk and asked me to plant it. He looks at the papers for a bit, just rubs his head.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Executive. Chom has a lot of experience dealing with bombs. I should know. I've been dealing with Chom for the last 15 years.
We apply enough pressure fast enough. the account manager or Alaka might want to keep to themselves. Might want to handle this quietly. All right. I can act as your agent in this. And we'll see what we can get. If, worst case scenario, this turns into a lance rat battle and it goes to our betters. But let no one say that those in the mercantile trade are afraid of a bit of intrigue.
Thank you very much, Executive. And for my part, you can rest assured that this whole little scandal will stay out of as far away from media outlets as possible.
He raises an eyebrow. Do you realize this tizzy would affect your account as much as anyone else's?
Oh, I'm aware, and I am more than willing to sink the whole ship just to kill the captain.
He stares at
You underestimate the zealousness of my cause, Executive.
and you underestimate how much
impetuousness.
people are willing to kill for Solar.
Oh, I'm very well aware. I calculate them after all.
It's a weird way to spend a Sunday, but okay.
May I offer you some advice, Mentat? Maybe you don't know the realities of what you've just told me.
Shoot, Executive.
The board of directors does not suffer those who would upset the establishment.
Oh, I know that. But you will suffer me. Executive, if that was all. I'll turn and leave.
The House of Beleza has a new enemy.
Oh god.
Oh no.
Did we just get Chome as an enemy?
Yep.
Oh god. Is that as bad as I think it is?
Uh-huh. The stock market? Yeah, I'll just crash it. Damn you all to hell if you don't do what I want. Like,
Fuck Chome. Fuck Chome. Anarchy.
So, in a more sane place, as the poor and destitute are tramped down by capitalism, and the military police, Erica the Third of Beleza, to the moon. You are kept under a strict guard, again, as your colonel may or may not inform you, to keep the riffraff from bothering you, frankly. The Duke is rapidly available to speak with you. Should you wish it. Although perhaps you may want to wait to see what the colonel or your lady does, or you can see him now. It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. I can wait for them to get back with the results.
So would the colonel like to move, or like the lady like?
Ladies,
Just stepped
okay.
away.
What kind of results are you looking for, actually?
Find out everything you can about their military situation.
All right. Could the colonel tour the grounds?
Certainly could.
Under, I don't know, escort, I guess.
Definitely under escort.
I mean, yeah. Let's have a look at what their soldiers are packing. If they have any, artillery pieces, transports. Take an account of everything.
All right. This is going to be an opposed roll because they are going to tour things and show off how great they are, but they're going to hide what they're up to. The general's going to buy full mint. He'd be escorting. He wouldn't be escorting you, but some officer would be. I realize the general would be staying with the Felsgrafen.
Write that down. Full mint. What would the role be?
Battle.
Battle duty?
Yeah.
Focus in tactics?
I wouldn't say tactics.
What's the diff opposed, right? Determination spend on duty statement?
Duty statement?
I serve God and his servant Erica III.
I'd forgotten. Yes.
And 2 momentum, is it for another die or is it 1?
Maybe 2, because first die's been bought. Set to 1.
Go ahead and take that. So I've got 4 overall. Oh no.
1, 2, 3, 4.
We're tied.
They set the difficulty because you're attacking. Goes to you. So, they are. You see that, of course, they have artillery because that is one of their domains, is the building of artillery and artillery, and the second domain of logistics, which is primarily to make sure the artillery are well supplied, and such because they are expensive things to make. And they are advancing. They are planning to invade, and so there's preparations for invasion, and they're going to be upping their military power to a full assault force.
Oh, okay. Do you catch all that, Winchester?
Yeah.
All right.
What
I'll
is
go
their explanation for this?
Yeah, actually, do they have an explanation that the colonel would like to ask? Oh, so many military drills, so many fine
War.
weapons. What are you preparing for? Going big game hunting?
So you're revealing that you noticed this because no one told you this. You just saw it when you saw how.
No, but
things
it's
were
like we see a bunch of troops, right, being armed to the freaking teeth, right? So
Yeah, they
Oh.
didn't show anything. Like they showed her, the colonel, all of this, even if they didn't say anything. This is not like anything covert was done.
They were trying to hide it. It's just that the colonel saw between the lines and went, "Wait a minute, that certain amount of boxes, that kind of drill, that artillery being in that area. This
Well, let's
feels
see
like
if,
an assault force and a preparation for invasion." They are trying to pretend that, oh no, it's an everyday thing. Here's this cool thing. Here's our other cool thing.
Let's see if I can maybe catch the general off guard. I'd like to make that comment as more of a,
I'll highlight
see all
this
these-
isn't the general, just to remind you.
Oh,
It's just some officer.
Sorry, I'll do it to the officer then. See if I can catch him off guard. Mention that, but looking at the regular soldiers, I'll be like, look at them all geared up. What are you, going bear hunting? And try and see if he thinks that I've read between the lines, but I'll try and play dumb like I haven't.
Rule communication difficulty opposed. They might the officer might clue in. Full mid again, because
Holy
you
moly.
see something I wasn't supposed to show you. I'm gonna get yelled at by the general or the war master here in a second.
Can I argue for discipline, because I am trying to maintain a very straight face?
I'll
during
take
all
that.
this.
Sure, that's a fair shot.
Okay. Discipline duty. This is my duty.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're doing it, because Erica herself told you to go look around for stuff.
Winchester, does she also have 2 determination or just 1?
No. You have to have unquestionably loyal, and she has issues that made unquestionably loyal, I think, legally possible. It's just,
Doesn't make much sense.
It didn't make much sense.
All right, I'll throw the.
So
full
what
med
she
back at
has
you.
is specialist warfare, which allows her to have the asset of a battleship and an orbital military base. And then she has rigorous control, which means whenever I think I can just put that in the chat.
Yeah.
So this is only relevant to extended tasks, which I don't think we've done a single one of.
Well, technically,
We've
all
done
of our
some.
combats are.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh no. Okay. I guess if they're different. Sorry, they're the thing where you got to do the damage.
Right.
Okay, so I'll throw the full med back at you combined with momentum and threat.
Sure.
So you're one short, I think, right? Focus and self-control?
Yeah. I'll take that.
Hey, that's okay.
We don't like them anyways. 1, 2, 3, 5. 5.
I'm also on 5.
Oof. You are. There's a look he gives you as you're asking and talking as casually as you can get away with. You almost think he reads through you. Like there's that furrow of the brow, that shifting of his boots, and then he shrugs and relaxes as he leans over quietly and says, "Well, Inquisitor, we're off to purge Silvanus of the unworthy."
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offense side-eye. I'll just nod quietly and continue the tour.
What is the Lady Gallia up to in the shadows of this enclosed military industrial complex?
Okay. Yeah, I guess the Lady Gallia is kind of information would we think that Erica would find useful. So the populace is disaffected, as I understand it.
Yes, they are very poorly treated and crammed into spaces they really don't want to be crammed into.
Okay.
War Machine runs on the blood, sweat, and tears of its populace.
Right.
What's
I'm
the-
going to see if I can't determine through talking with people, because I'm sure there's been a bunch of conscription and all this kind of stuff, where the primary staging area for the upcoming assault is.
This will be... Wait, you're on their world. Opposed roll. You'd be doing understand or battle.
Understands, definitely.
Ultimate.
And truth.
By the way, I wrote down 2 more AP, goddamn.
Okay. We're trying to figure it out. This one I know, but I think I got the previous one too. I've got us at 6 currently. Is that tally? Or should we be at 7?
I've also got 6.
Okay. So Gallia will spend one of her determinations on her truth statement. To know the truth of a matter is virtuous in its own right.
Very good.
And then I will give you 5 for 4. Let's see, we're using understand. Okay, let me house politics.
I wouldn't say so.
Cultural studies.
For any other house, no, but for these people, yes.
Okay. I was not expecting that would work, but I will certainly take it.
Problem with being a military-focused only house. Everything breathes. Well, it's an upside, too. Their military is really good for a minor house.
Gallia's
Oh.
got 7.
Wow, they can't roll for crap today. That's just 2. You spent on top of that, so that's like 5 back. They are going to stage at your mom's house. They're going to stage.
How could you?
Well, he has such a strong chin, you see.
Mom, you!
So yeah, they are going to be basing their there's an artillery orbital that's one of the new ones they built recently. So they're gonna go there, and then they're going to land. They're gonna make their primary attack. They're gonna make their bombardment from this area down into the forests, and then they're going to drop a forward operating base there to go to do ground assault. So they can't try to pull them around. Because a lot of these artilleries that they already had, the existing ones, are for keeping Salutaris and mine, and if they attack them, or for fighting there. This one's brand new, so it can be unofficially it's a training area, but you read between the lines. It's a training area that just happens to be doing practice drills for the forest.
Right.
Like, you're not stupid. You know what that means. I will know on top of that success that you notice that you're being followed around by hooded figures. They don't do anything. They're just kind of following you around, seeing what you're doing. But you're being careful not to do anything obvious or ask any obvious questions.
If I had to make a suggestion, it would be see what the chance of a homegrown rebellion is.
Actually, I'm sorry. I give you an extra momentum. Pointed out something to me. You get +1 to your roll because the populace doing intrigue and espionage in a place where people hate you, hate your enemy. Bonus stuff for that. But anyway, and what are the chances? Rebellion of an uprising.
Well, I mean that's up to Inslee to actually ask. I was just suggesting.
Yeah, I'll ask the question.
You know what? For a momentum, I'll answer.
Yeah.
Related, I think. But I'm nice. At present, the house is merely loathed by its populace, but not hated. So there isn't a standing insurgency waiting to explode yet. It's just people are miserable, and they know who to blame. But they haven't gotten angry enough to do anything. But could you ferment one? Could you push that button and drive them further? You could. You could. It is possible to do. Now, how well they succeed, you'd need military support. The common populace is underarmed, outgunned. They'd need supplies or support, whether within the house or from an external power.
Okay. Could I spend 2 momentum to create the advantage that I kind of corner one of the people who are following me? Like, switch the tables on them?
It'd be an opposed roll.
Okay, let's do that. I want to talk to one of these guys.
Okay. Full mit, because No, I don't want you to see me. No. 3. I am going to call this opposed move. Because you're going to move and they're going to try to evade you.
Okay. I'm going to try for truth again because I'm trying to find out who these people actually are.
That's what's motivating. I believe it.
Okay.
I believe it.
You bought a full mitt, so believe I
Another
will
one.
do the same with, yeah, got it with momentum this time. And a focus in stealth.
Yeah, you're countering their stealth, essentially. Yep. Or you're trying to sneak up on them.
Yeah.
Way to put
I would argue for personality traits inquisitive and daring.
Okay, sure. I'll argue.
I mean,
for
I
those
would
traits
suggest
as
that
well.
because you're doing exactly those two things.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
I'll give you 2 ticks for that. You're right. There's 2 extra hits for just for that. They both line up exactly with what you're doing.
I think it's just one hit because it's a and conjoin. It's one trait, inquisitive and daring, or is it separated? Sorry, the lack of an Oxford comma confuses me.
We've been treating them as separate
Yeah.
for
Okay, that's fine.
everyone.
So that's a total then of 2, 4, 6, 8. Go Gallia.
So that my number, that. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of their traits. Doesn't fire. That's 4 for me. 4 to your 8, so you rate 4. Yeah, you catch up. You in an alleyway, in a service corridor. Alleyway is the wrong word. In a service corridor where oxygen is managed and with various other gases. This very cramped space. They're shimmying as fast as they can, thinking they lost you, but you realize that you could go through someone's house and then get to the other side and then meet him at the end.
It's not polite to spy upon a lady. Not at least without an explanation or some flowers.
The hooded figure glares at you. You can see from the bit of the face that's exposed that there is a very nasty chemical around their eye.
So, care to tell me what you find so interesting about my perambulations?
What?
My walk about town.
Nosy. Boss
What?
doesn't like nosy.
I'm not nosy, I'm just taking in a bit of the local color. And who is this mysterious boss of yours?
What's it to you?
Well, it seems to me the best way to clear up things between two people is a meeting. Your boss and me. He can ask whatever questions he wants, and I'll give him answers.
You want to meet, do you, fancy pants?
Well, it would save you and your friends a lot of this skulking around, and me a lot of this looking over my shoulder.
Give me communicate. Difficulty, it's not going to be super high, because this kind of helps him. But at the same time, he wasn't supposed to bring you to the meeting. That wasn't what he was paid to do. I'll call it 3. He kind of wants to do it, but at the same time, wants to get paid.
I'm still going to lean on truth, because I'm trying to dig down to who is following me and why.
Yep.
Inquisitive and daring again.
I'll take daring.
Okay, so there's one extra hit. And so difficulty's what?
A 3.
3, okay. take one extra hit, and then I will buy a third. Tell you what, let's buy a third and fourth die with momentum. Charm as a focus.
Yeah, that would work on him. He thinks you smell nice.
I do smell nice. Hit it. 4 actually.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. 1. He looks you up and down. You hear him kind of sneer. You can hear the sneer behind that damn mat.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
Dear.
He makes a clicking noise with his mouth, like a series of clicks. And from out of various shadows, a small gang of hooded figures come out. Follow us, but lead.
Lead on, good Sirrah.
Sirrah, she called me a Sirrah. The rest of the gang just gives him a look and just shake their head like, we're really doing this? And he moves by Erica while all this tomfoolery goes on. Eventually the colonel does get back to you. Unless she's gonna go spy some more. Imagine she comes back to tell you what she knows.
All right. With no sign of Golly, I'll go ahead and meet the guy.
Meet the Duke.
Yep.
So it should be down here. You are invited into the small quarters and offices of Duke Corvin Malvolus. And for you, this probably isn't all that weird. It isn't. It's you have a very. My understanding is you have a very militant mind and personality. In this place, you see that for all the beauty and aesthetic and hard work that goes into your fortress, this place shows all the signs and battle plans of various war plans and active battles that he's helping with, and certain bits and pieces of contracts that he's doing, where he's supposed to advise this house or another house about how they should deploy their artillery or if they shouldn't use artillery. But also for all that, it looks like he spends a fair amount of money on making this place look like the office, as it was, to look like the office of the Steward of Silvanus. And he was the Steward of Silvanus for a while. So there's still that air to this place that this was a major house's ruler's room. But, you know, there's a lot of missing spots here or there. Like, there should be a report from House Beleza. There should be reports from Valorian Arconus. There isn't. But it looks like he's still set aside those spots for stuff to happen. For things to come to. Volsgraf and Erica. I don't think we've ever met here in my planning. He would say office. In my battle room.
I've not been to Agrestis in maybe 20 years, and certainly not as an adult yet.
Did you do one of our programs for my father for strategic use of bombardment?
No, simply a diplomatic conference between our fathers.
Oh, right. That was the one. I remember I tried to bug you to go with me. So much boring math. Well, boring at the time. A lot more fun when you actually have something to shoot at.
I would have to apologize. I find artillery in the face of shielded soldiers ineffective.
Bury a unit under enough rock and dirt. Shield serves as a coffin. But I understand. There are the artillery arts are not for everyone. And it doesn't always apply. A house shield will make threatening such things annoying. But populaces do suffer under artillery fire. And the lesser troops. I'm sure you didn't want to come here to hear me tell you about the virtues of artillery, unless you wish to buy yourself a full unit.
No. I have no need of such things. At least for now. Though, the reason for my visit is an understanding that it could be needed. I've heard disturbing things about the activities on the main world. And I think you are equally aware of these disturbing facts.
He offers a chair to you and sit down himself.
I'll sit.
There are many disturbing things about Silvanus, Erica. Me not being in the palace, for one. I don't think you're here to complain about that either.
Well, there was a moment at the enthronement where I thought perhaps your continued service as the steward was necessary, but you and me alone cannot decide the steward in a formal setting.
Not yet, anyway. Smirk.
But no, your stewardship or lack thereof is not the disturbing thing. I want to maneuver him into being the first one to say it out loud.
So yeah, this is going to be a little intrigue battle between you two, because he's doing the same thing. He's trying to pull information out of you. See how much you really know with. So yeah, you're taking your. I mean, there's no moving around or anything. You're both just staring off at each other and talking. So I imagine a communicate roll, straight on at him. It's an opposed roll.
All right. I would like to see if I can use the holographic artwork of pain. Because I think it does say that the work of art, it doesn't, you don't take it with you, but knowledge of it does come follow you.
How does it apply to the situation?
Being that it's got both the words justice and pain, I am known for it is increasingly making me known to be vengeful when I have been wronged and that wrong can be proven. So if he thinks that the tribes are doing something that would harm me, he would be inclined to think that I would respond without question.
What's the quality on that thing?
4.
You want to use it as an asset to bring down the diff, or do you want to use it as your intrigue weapon?
The weapon.
If you nail him with this, you're going to do like 6 damage. That's a lot for a guy who has no occasion.
All right.
Not going to lie. He's spending a full bit because holy crap now.
Communication justice. I'm known as a just person.
That's why you're doing.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? I don't think. That's the thing. Yeah, no. You're no. It makes sense.
All right. I'll spend determination, give you 2 momentum, and use 2 momentum and 3 threat. Focus in innuendo, because most of what's important here, neither of us are willing to say.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 5.
Got my own number. One, 2, 3, 4.
So I've got him by 1.
And can I pull one of his traits in? Not really. Help him. Pull anything? Really? Because again, he's about fighting, not talking to people. Yeah, no. So gain 1 momentum. And... What did I say? 6 intrigue damage?
I'm not expecting him to make it past the first hit. His communicate would have to be 7 or 8.
You're talking about the Silvani tribes and their monopoly, unofficial though it may be, over the sap.
That
I
is
imagine
that is not a new situation. In its own right, it's and therefore not the true cause for concern. It is something else I think we're aware of that is the concern.
Well, forgive me if I am pointing out the obvious to you, Grafin. But I think I can get away with it since we're the same age. They both have godly marriages. I'll be forthright as the Bible commands. I have reason to believe that the tribes have developed a bioweapon to devastate the melt it all away, rob the Imperium of its rightful ownership. Worse yet, much as the so-called Church of the Redeemer they had spoken of a machine that they hide in the. I had believed the weapon of bioterror far before I believed some titans hiding in the woods. But these are serious things that I think the Steward of Silvanus is failing. He's failing to protect us from dangers of our against our rule. So I'm going to remind these tribals of what happens. Pose their betters. Advise you do the same. I don't want to go to war with you.
I certainly see how a new steward is needed.
He nods, and as he's drinking something, he nods at you, like, no kidding.
Perhaps it might be more effective to find this answer without damaging sap production by artillery bombardment.
Not sure how. The Silvani have mastered forest power. They know their wood better than anyone living. Fighting a ground battle in the Silvani wood is suicide. I mean, even if I throw countless reams of conscripts, I'm just feeding the wood doing.
Well, then perhaps you would be more comfortable serving a steward who could do such a thing and was inclined to do such a thing.
If only we had such a steward. The Emperor was sadly fooled by the ungodliness of the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother, her favored children. We had a chance to make this right. Squandered by machinations.
Well, luckily for us, the Emperor is only forced to consider a steward because the houses here cannot uniformly choose one from amongst them. But if we could, we would not need the Emperor's seal.
What do you propose, Erica? You're not one to say things idly.
In clear terms, I will investigate and find the truth of the matter of this forest. And once I've found it, I will inform you and demonstrate to you what that truth is, so that you may be confident in its truthful nature. And at such time as that is completed, you and House Malvolus will accept permanent vassalage to House Beleza.
Oh, he stands up. He paces around. He looks a little angry. But he's
don't
laughing.
take small swings. Girl, don't bunt.
No.
All right, I'm not going to insult you, Erica. I'm not. You don't deserve that. Apologies. Sits down.
Erica says, that's good.
Oh.
Because if you do insult me, I will not let it go.
He stops laughing then and gives you a very level stare.
Well, that's the truth. I mean, there's evidence of that.
Yeah, he reads into your the traits of House Beleza don't really faze him as he looks at you. But you are known as impulsive and just, and your just blade has cut down various swords. And he looks at you with the brutal eyes of a Malvolus. This is probably the most hostility your two houses, even just floating it in the air, this is probably the most you've ever aimed at each other before. But Malvolus just lets it go. I guess Beleza's turned to militarism this generation. Lucky.
No. This generation, Beleza has turned towards stewardship.
How are you going to get to the truth when you have a tribal working for you? Someone who drinks far too much of that tea than is good for.
Hey, I can quit anytime I want.
Those are exactly the ways. They walk within my fortress. The most valuable person to the tribes is a mere 3 levels away from my jails. If I had evidence of their complicity, and by extension hers, I would not hesitate to imprison her and extract from her and them in exacting detail the nature of their treachery. And they would comply because they could not stand to witness her so tortured. And GM, I'll point out, Erica's lying through her teeth here, but that's, this is part of the maneuvering.
Give me communicate difficulty 4. It would be 5, but he knows you. You're of his system. He likes you. Well, as much as he can like anyone who isn't under his direct command, but And he doesn't know how much you care for the Lady Gallia, because otherwise he wouldn't like you as much.
I will argue justice because the part I'm lying about is how much Erica values and kind of lets Johanna slide by, right? Erica's not lying about her just nature here. Because in truth, right, if Johanna was ever actually found to have committed a gross crime, then Erica wouldn't hesitate to imprison her. The only thing I'm lying about here is how bad that crime would have to be.
Yeah, no. Fits within your statement as well. Yeah, no. I'll take it.
What about the trait just?
Yeah, I'll take that, because that makes you more believable. You're known as a justice.
All right.
Believe you do.
One moment. Oh, sorry. From earlier. Can I put the trait on him? Willing to listen.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, then I'll
Ding ding.
yeah. I'll spend 1 momentum and 2 threat. Focus in. I think this is just straight up diplomacy.
Yeah.
Set 7.
3.
I'm gonna put on him another one of accepted leverage. Basically, that he may not, because right, this role will determine whether he believes what I said or not. But even if he doesn't believe it, he does believe that in at least some small ways, Erica has leverage within the tribes that he does not.
Fair enough. If you can unveil truth, either will have more than enough to force the Landsrat's hand, and indeed current steward's hand, or we can at least take comfort we are not in as much danger to believe. In either case, I think the blood of Salutaris running far more thick. Silvanus.
Erica will say, for your benefit and mine, I spoke clearly and without innuendo. I expect the same.
And in all honesty, if we find the truth, then I know that you can make yourself steward. Save Silvanus from the danger. If there's nothing there, then even if I did support you, that alone would not be enough to make you a steward. But I'd give my support all the same. I'd rather not. If I am wrong, I do not want to waste all my resources on a war that is not worth any glory. I'd be looking a fool that way, so you'd save me from that.
Then Erica stands up
He stands up.
So that for it. Sorry.
He stands up when you do.
Okay. Erica will say, then perhaps we have at least the outline of an understanding. I, in less than, let's say, 3 months, will have been to and returned from the forest and have an answer to this question. Should that question need force to resolve, I will not intervene unless it is clear I am needed to. And in exchange for any evidence and any necessary support in acting on that evidence, I will expect your support.
He smiles. God willing, see a Beleza back in the palace sooner rather than either way.
GM, I did not know that was the last communicate needed to get this. Would you allow me to activate Binding Promise?
You certainly can, yeah. That's fair.
Okay, then I will spend the 3 momentum to create a Binding Promise that he will support Erica if Erica can get to the bottom of his concern.
Put that down. That's locked in. It was depending on what you said after that roll. I wasn't sure if you need another roll. It's like, no, you're saying stuff that he kind of he's vibing on. He's perfectly happy to accept this line of thinking.
No, I was about to say, if he gave me too much more resistance, then I was gonna bring out the whole, well, if you don't agree, I know what you're planning on doing, and I'll ensure that all your people die. But he didn't force my hand there, so I didn't bring it up. Because I think that would have been the end of this conversation. A very bloody end, probably. I guess then I'm off to collect my people. This is out of character. I guess I'm off to collect my people and to leave.
Close the scene there and head off to Planet Akaz. It's probably the final sequence, I think. Oh, yes.
Which means I think I have binding promises on 2 of the 3 dukes and 1 of the tribes.
Nice.
Fine, make it expensive for me to make them break it. Imagine if I had to break promise for all of them at the exact same time. I'd be like, I don't have enough threat. Give me more threat so they can break their promises.
I mean,
it's
how much threat we spend, I doubt you'd have a hard time getting
I mean,
enough.
that's fair.
It is, yeah. It is. It would be stupidly expensive though. Right now alone, that would cost 18 threat.
And that's not even like giving them extra power. That's just letting them do it. I want to do the thing. Oh wait, hold on. I have to spend threat. So, Richard Mill Moonshadow, in your little, in the heat of the club, in the dark and lights, she gestures for you to sit down with her. After a really long pause, like she stared at you for a while when you said that. Like she was checking if you were full of it, but there's no role for her. It's just you're not lying. You're telling her the truth.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to obfuscate that today either.
I am the Lady Celeste of House Spas. Whom do I have the pleasure of sitting with? He says very quiet. Because she doesn't benefit from an Ix thing, but the noise and lights kind of make it hard to focus on a whispered conversation.
I will quietly say, I am Marshal and Ritter in service of House Beleza.
Lessa. Oh yeah, one of Erica's. That's interesting. Scruff.
Mill will incline her head slightly.
Whatever are you talking about? Left with her.
He did not. One who looked like him did. And I'll leave that sit.
That's... How could that have happened? I thought they were myths. They weren't real. I mean, the Benny
So
Talks
did I.
were real, but...
Apparently I was mistaken.
Okay. So, you're trying to find... when this plop happened, I suppose?
We have an idea of when. We are looking for him if he yet lives. And if not, answer. And eventually justice. Although the false Graf is a formidable woman of intense passion. If he does not live, I pity them.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again? I lost my ears there for a bit.
Mill said the false Graf is a formidable woman of intense passions, and if he does not live, she pities them.
Well, who do you think made the trade? I mean, they can't do it all. Oh, they would need support in a battlefield like this. All of it has is a nest of spies and counter spies, spy master, marshals even.
I am here to try to find that out, among other things.
How can I be of help?
I am wondering if there is any house that you're aware of that would have facilities to house guests such as that in a subtle enough way to escape detection for years.
Well, on this planet, ever since the Manor House of Alaka got destroyed, I'm not sure where to go. They'd have to hide in the forest somewhere. Otherwise, they're not here in the system. But then they'd have to sneak him aboard a Highliner without anyone noticing. I mean, I guess if you bribe the Spacing Guild enough, you can make them move anything, right? But if he's here, he's in the only place I can think of is the forest. Unless there's some sort of hidden bunker underneath the Manor Alaka, but if that's the case, I think the Atreides would have found that long ago. Practically tore the place apart in their fury.
Have you any contacts within the Spacing Guild, out of curiosity? I'm curious if there are records that old.
I know a guild agent. Most I have. I don't normally have to deal with most of my trade, you understand, is not so much getting to where the lords and ladies are. I just need to sleep.
I will smile. That is a talent all of its own. Have you... Of course, I don't wish to intrude upon your business, but I do wonder if you have been asked to entertain any with grudges against the Falsgraf.
Give me understand roll. Difficulty of 3. You're basically using Lady Celeste as your agents to inform you stuff she knows.
Alright. I don't know if danger sense or physical empathy would apply. Okay. In that case, I'll just go with duty. I will spend 3 threat for 2 extra dice. Ouch. Holy crap.
Gain 2. I mean, it's an old grudge, but they did anger House Rishis during one of the big Landsrat votes a few years back in not the current Falsgraf, but the previous one's rule. I mean, seems like a lot for Rishis to get such a petty reason.
In my experience, sometimes motivations are pettier than one might anticipate. Thank you for telling me this. It's worth investigation.
Hmm.
Now, I will do you know who I would speak to who may know of the local forests well?
Understand difficulty 2. Pardon me, sir.
I shall spend a momentum for 1 extra die. No focus. Nice.
I know someone who may wish to, who can be convinced to show you about. Or go venturing on your behalf, anyway.
What would you need from me to make it worth an introduction? I assume your information does not come for free.
She shakes her head. We serve the same liege. Simply working on a similar mission, it seems.
Is there any assistance I can give to you?
There is. There is a gentleman, housed with you. Minor lordling, Rivenwood. If you could ensure that I can have someone change his clothes without anyone complaining, then that would be of great use to me.
Can I roll an understand to see if there's something more subtle that she's implying there?
Understand difficulty 2?
Okay. Do either danger sense or physical empathy apply?
Physical empathy applies, sure.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and spend that momentum for 1 extra die. Because
There you go.
I feel like there was an implication there, but I also feel like it might have. It probably went over my head.
She wants to send a lady of the night to his chambers without anyone noticing, so she can get leverage on him.
Ah.
But she wants to be the one that controls the information about how that person got to him. But he has guards around, so they might notice someone coming and going. So that's it becomes harder to control that information.
I see. I can arrange for your access. I can't arrange for his reaction.
My agent will ensure the reaction. Just need the access.
Mill will nod. When?
The sooner the better, but before he leaves planet would be preferable.
Sometime tonight, perhaps?
That would be rather grand of you.
Mill nods. Very well. I have a final question, which is, should the investigation into the forest fail, would you be willing to introduce me to your contact with the Spacing Guild that you mentioned?
Certainly.
Well, no, you would have my personal gratitude.
It's always nice to have a marshal's gratitude. He smiles.
Mill will smile in return. Well, I should leave you to your business. I need to be getting back to where I am staying before my absence causes more alarm than consternation.
Do you wish the guy to attend to you at where you're housed, or you wish to just communicate with them by letter?
Letter would be good. I am hoping to keep this activity concealed from House Kaz for the time being. And if someone were to call on me in broad daylight, that could pose a challenge.
Have you been a Ritter long, dear?
I will, approximately how long was my transit?
A few hours.
Less than a week.
Well, I think the House of Baz should celebrate an entry into our noble rank. We're gonna send you a... You like chocolates? Everyone likes chocolate.
Of course.
You're gonna get some chocolates and some flowers to congratulate you, and there will be a certain flower company and chocolatier send a letter to either of them. I'll make sure it gets to them.
Thank you.
Oh, and don't eat all the chocolates at once. I get the feeling you're not used to the pleasures of a Kaz. Go easy.
I get the feeling that there is more to those chocolates than chocolate.
Kaz chocolate. A bit of Baz spice, shall we say. Guaranteed to have good dreams. I would say or your money back, but free, so.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the gesture.
Of course. A good day, Ritter.
Good day, my lady.
And Shadow's gonna get some pot chocolates.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of moves happened. Good golly. So you still have your moves on Kaitan to do, although you guys have like 2 different ways you're coming at it now. So that should turn useful to you, I think, if it goes well. The talk with the Duke
Now that
went
we've
way
made an
better.
enemy of Chome.
I
Well-
fail to see how the entire show was after us and not just that one executive and his goons, but
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
going to tell my boss that you think capitalism sucks and you'll bring down the entire economy by yourself if they don't do what you want. I mean, they'll do what you want for now.
yeah,
But,
and the boss says him and what army?
Chome,
No,
they don't
no,
need
no,
an
the-
army,
the-
they need your Solaris.
No. The boss of Chome would say him and what army? Like, who the hell is this guy?
You're a Mentat treasurer who is in service to a noble house with ambitions to be a major house. That is not an idle threat, you said.
Nah.
Don't worry, you just made and besides, they think that you acted on behalf of your lord, Allscroft. You're an agent of hers. They heard her threatening them through you. You're not just some commoner, you're an important person. It's just a faction that has a beef against you. I mean, you're bound to make. I mean, if you're going to become a major house, you're going to piss off someone important anyway. So why not start with the entirety of the show?
Yeah.
So we need to deny we even know Kareem.
Yeah.
Who?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, the Duke talk went really well. I mean, there are some wrinkles going on down in the trenches, which, I mean, the military didn't get wise that you learned how good they are, so you guys did well there. You are making a reach out to the criminal underground there and figuring out who's moving around. We'll see how that meeting goes and if Lady Gallia gets murdered. Or recruited, who knows. And the marshals conspiring to infiltrate and subvert a noble of the Landsrad to get high to further her search to rescue the false graph.
I'm not letting y'all leave home anymore.
Hey, Joanna's done well so far.
I
Yes.
mean,
But yes, for all of you watching out there, thank you very much for watching. For those of you playing, thank you very much for playing. And we'll see you all next time. How this ends. Bye. Oh, goodness gracious.
So, Kareem, for my notes, what dirt exactly did you turn up on Alaka?
Corby, run it by us one more time if you could, please.
Second.
Because you rolled the 2 comps, I don't know exactly what you had in mind for those 2 comps.